Manchester United have reportedly held talks with the camp of Real Madrid defender and Liverpool transfer target Raphael Varane. It's now been revealed along with Chelsea that Liverpool are also interested in the French international this summer. Real Madrid have made a decision on Eden Hazard, and reportedly the ex-Chelsea winger would love a return to Stamford Bridge. But is that a conceivable and affordable move for the Chelsea outfit? We will also be touching on the Harry Kane transfer saga and giving you any updates as we are live on the air. We're also ranking the Premier League Team of the Year live on the air for you. So stay with the Football Terrace, hit that like button, hit that share button. Here we go. Afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Terrace. Hope you're all having wonderful, productive days. The end of the season is nearly here in terms of all competitions. The Euros are on the way. The Champions League final to come, of course, and the Europa League transfer window beginning. And then before we know it, the season will... in fairness, I think it's 40 days' time the Europa Conference League starts. So it'll be back here before we know it. We're here to talk a few stories with you today. Raphael Varane, reportedly Manchester United have begun talks with his representatives. We know Chelsea have made a lot of inroads into that deal. Now it's reported that Liverpool Football Club will also be making an attempt, now that they've secured Champions League football, to try and sign the Champions League winning and World Cup winning centre-back this summer. Aside from that, big news. I've reached out to Sasha that we've had on the show recently, one of the Belgian football experts. In case there's been any developments since a week ago when we last spoke, he said then that it was highly unlikely, highly improbable that Eden Hazard would be returning to Chelsea. However, things change in football. Chelsea can change their minds. His kind of view last week was Real Madrid were not probably going to be happy to cash in on him yet because of the return of investment. The reports are now that they may be looking to do that. So I've touched base with him. When I get an update from him, I will let you all know. We're going to delve into that story in it with a little bit more detail moving forward. Some of the comments about Raphael Varane are interesting, but yes, he's a top-class centre-back. We all know that. He's on the market. He's on the market right now. 3 big Premier League teams are looking at him. I'm sure there are other European elite clubs that are looking at him as well. And the price is what's really interesting around Raphael Varane. The price keeps coming in at about 40 mil. And at 40 million pounds, if you're a Champions League club, if you've got heritage, if you've got history, why are you not trying to sell Raphael Varane? There are very few defenders in the game that operate at his level. Very few. Van Dijk. Who else? That are at the top echelon of the game. You would say maybe Sergio Ramos. He's not even been picked for Spain. He's towards the end of his career. Who else is operating? Barring Nat Phillips, man like Sonny would say, who's operating at that level. At that level. That's what I would like to know. Look, this is the difference here we have in comments here. There's Terry Hazard is available, is what Adelphin Skills here has got to say. And then Chelsea fan says Hazard not coming back to Chelsea. Do you know what I would put it down to? My view is this. Price is going to be the driver in a deal like this. How much money would Chelsea need to pay to get him back? I think there's this element of, is he better than the majority of Chelsea's current attacking players? Yes. But have all the injuries, the fluctuation in weight, has that taken anything away from him? You don't want to pay £100 million to get Hazard back and then he breaks down. I know everyone will say it's not a priority, but he's better than Pulisic. He's better than Mount. He's better than everyone that attacks you right now. So if there's a possibility, with Chelsea fans, would you turn your nose up at it, is the question. Equally, are Real Madrid actually looking to cash in on him now? I do think the next manager is going to play a large part in that. Who the next coach is. Is Hazard going to be the kind of player the new coach, the new manager needs to get the best football possible? Does he fit? Allegri's the guy that's been linked with the job massively. Is he the individual that's going to be able to drive them forward? I do want your views. I do want your opinions on that. We're going to open up the lines for you to come on and have your say. Of course, we're ranking later on in the show today. We're going to be ranking the Premier League Team of the Year. And we've added some additional faces from what we did halfway through the season, because halfway through the season, Gundogan wasn't on the list. Lingard wasn't on the list. Souček wasn't on the list. Fofana wasn't on the list. Who else we added to it since then? We've added Rafinha. We've added Bamford. None of those players were on it halfway through the season. They've all been added. Luke Shaw wasn't on the list halfway through this campaign. It just goes to show how good some people have been in the back end of the season. Equally, we had people on there like Raheem Sterling, like Mane for the first half of the season. I can't even quite remember why now. Their back ends of the season, maybe not so great. But we're going to be tiering that with you all a little bit later on. I'm very, very excited indeed to be doing that all with you. I'll just share that screen as it stands. So stay with us. Around about 5:30, we'll be starting the tiering session for you all to get involved, have your say, get your super chats in as well if you want to move people up, down, in, out, shake it all about, create your own tiers and all that jazz. So that's going to be coming very, very soon on the terrace. Geordie T here says, if we Liverpool get him, which I don't think we will, I think he'll go United. Imagine how good Virgil would be with the best centre-back partnership in the league. Listen, if you had Varane and Virgil, on paper, it's ridiculously elite. Do you know what I mean? Ridiculously elite. I don't even know. If we're being blunt and we're being honest, it's on paper the best pairing in the world. How it works in practicality, I don't know. But it could be amazing. Listen, I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say this with chest. If it's Harry Maguire and Raphael Varane together, it's the best partnership in the league on paper. We have to see how they play together. But as a collective, there isn't a partnership out there that is as good, in my opinion, on paper. And that's the same if you add any new centre-back to another player. It's all on paper till we see it. But I think you'll see a superb year. Luke Shaw's found his level now. And AWB is just going to get better. Defensively next season, Man United would be amazing. CJ says, I hope Man United don't go for Hazard over Sancho. I agree. Listen, everyone thinks I'm a Hazard hater. I don't quite know where this notion has come from. I'm not. I like him a lot as a football player. I just took exception a few years ago to people telling me that he was better than Cristiano Ronaldo. That's the only time I really started talking about him. It was crazy. I really, really do. By the way, I test in the mud today. Because the footage has been revealed from the interview that Rashford gave. There's a bit of confusion yesterday. Rashford said that the answer given was to a different question, proved that Rashford actually got that wrong, and has subsequently since apologized and deleted his tweet. In fairness to Rashford, the journalist didn't have a go at him afterwards. He basically was cool with it. The journalist of that, the I would never say no, said there is nothing in it. It was simply if Man United didn't want him anymore, would he go abroad? Was the basis of the question. So the journalist has said the likes of eye test are twisting the context, but they left out part of his answer. You hear the audio. He actually said, I would never say never. And still eye test wasn't happy in the comments. It was amazing. He actually said the very thing. And that shows you an agenda. I wish he'd said he should have said never say never. He did say never say never. Yeah, I'm still not happy though. I love it. I love you, eye test, but you're finished today, bro. Man like Sonny here says Nate Phillips wasn't on the list. Nate Phillips. Hang on, you really think Nate Phillips should be on the Team of the Year list? Listen, bro, listen, I love you, mate. I love you, bro. You're a funny guy. Let's move. Hang on a second. Terry, who was you talking about last night considering Kane? What are you talking about, bro? We've done the Kane video this morning. We've done it this morning. I don't know if you're there or not. iTest is in the building. Everyone says, my guy's here. He's here for every stream. I do have respect for him in relation to that. Cities CBs are better. In reality, yes, I said on paper. There we go. Let's do some more of your comments here. Where do you think Raphael Varane is going to go, ladies and gentlemen? Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, or will he stay at Real Madrid? I want your views. I want your opinions on that. Paul Scholes here, one of our members, says Hazard is a left winger. We need a right wing, which is why I don't know why we are looking at Coman. I hear you on that point. iTest also said, I've lost his comment now, said that we should swap. I'm waiting to see KJ's reaction backstage to this. We should swap Rashford for Hazard. Do you want to know the irony of that? do you want to see the irony in that? So Real Madrid have lost patience with Hazard because he isn't good enough for them. If they would swap him for Rashford, that's the biggest club in the world, the most successful in the Champions League, telling you that Rashford's better than Hazard. So why do the deal? Don't make sense. It don't make sense. They wouldn't do, according to your logic, they wouldn't do that swap because Rashford's trash. So why would they do it? Don't make sense, G. It don't make sense. Hazard's great, but I can't see him coming to Man United. I don't trust the injuries. I don't trust the lack of... He wouldn't. I don't think Ollie would have him. I don't think he has the professionalism to play under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And now I'm not talking about coaching skills and tactics. I'm legitimately talking about the work rate, the mentality, keeping yourself in shape. Every single Man United player, one of the biggest things Ollie spent a year fixing at the club was the lack of fitness. I don't think Ollie would sign him. I think Ollie would be like, nah, mate, you got to go to the gym more. I don't think he would do it. Look at this. Would be an amazing front line. Hazard, Isak, Sancho. I love this game. We're going to be bringing the panel on around about 5:30. What I'm going to do between now and then is share the link if you want to phone up and have your say in relation. I'm going to put the StreamYard link in the live comment function here. Make sure that the like button is being hit as well. But we want to get your views on the Raphael Varane news this afternoon, that Man United have reportedly begun talks with him. And I'll read out what the article says here. It says, Man United have reportedly held talks with the camp of Real Madrid defender and Liverpool and Chelsea transfer target Raphael Varane. The Red Devils have been linked with Varane before in a possible £40 million move. The Daily Mail, the Daily Mirror, Manchester Evening News, and a number of Spanish outlets have all claimed initial discussions over the deal have taken place in the past 48 hours. They did, however, mention that Liverpool are now massively interested in the French international, and since their qualification for the Champions League, this looks like posing an interesting battle for his signature over the course of this summer. It says Varane has had a great career at the Bernabeu, playing his part in 3 La Ligas and, of course, the 4 Champions League wins. That's mad, isn't it? 4 champions. Imagine that, a World Cup winning centre-back, 4 times Champions League winning centre-back. So they're claiming Man United have already had the initial talks, but we know Chelsea are also massively in for him as well. Where do you think he is going to go? And Eden Hazard, he wants to come back to Stamford Bridge. What's your thoughts on this, Chelsea fans? Do you want this to happen? Would it represent good business? First caller we're going to go to, we've got Canadian Cam backstage, KJ backstage. We'll get them on a little bit later, especially for the rankings show. First, we're going to go to Cal. Cal's with us here. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, what's going on, Terry?
Yeah, I'm very, very good. What transfer are you here to talk about, bro?
The Varane one, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it, bro. Go for it.
With this Varane deal, it makes sense to bring Varane to United because of the partnership we've got at centre back. I think Maguire and Varane together, I reckon they could be a good force going into next season if we get the deal done. The only problem I've got with it, is that if you look at Bruno now, when Bruno came from Sporting, he came straight into the Premier League and he went on. He was on fire, but I don't know. It's like some not English talents that come to the UK are like, I don't know this. It might take a while for him to settle in, like, because he's never played in the Premier League before. So if he gets off to a bad team,
yeah, I do. I hear you on that. It's one of those things. I think the level that he's at, Thiago did, as an example. Bruno, that age group's an interesting one because they're older. Thiago's come in and took him a while to settle, but then you see Bruno came in and hit the ground running. That's always going to be a risk. But the reported transfer is for just £40 million. And in this current day market, see Bruno came in and hit the apologies. In this current market, £40 million is very good, isn't it?
You know what? £40 million for a talent like Varane, yeah, that's pretty cheap compared to a lot of other centre backs that are in the Premier League and that's abroad. If we get this deal done, I could see us not challenging, but I could see us fighting for second again next season. But it's just with the reliability with if he can get up to his good form again, like coming to a new club, especially in England.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, mate. Listen, Cal, thank you for calling in and having your say. Really appreciate that, bro. Top man. Thank you. Viewers, get your calls in now. Let us know what you think about these transfer deals. Varane, where is he going? Hazard back to Chelsea. Do you see these things happening? Next up, Satan's favorite Devils here. He's a Man United fan. What are you saying?
Hey, Terry, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm here to talk about the Varane story. For me, it's like, this summer, a centre-back has to be the priority. It should be the number one thing. But I've grown to be very cynical when it comes to Man United, when it comes to these transfer windows. I wanted to actually ask you a question because we just recently renewed Bailly's contract, which does indicate that maybe Oli does have him in his plans in the future. Do you think that maybe we might be not entering for a centre back during the summer?
So there's two things on that. The signing of Eric Bailly means that Manchester United are not going to spend a huge sum of money on a centre back. So we are not going to spend over £40 million, maybe 50 million at a push on a brand new centre back. There were these kind of mooted reports earlier on in the season, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, about 70, 80, 90 million pound bids for the Jules Koundés as an example. That isn't going to happen. The money isn't there. The re-signing of Eric Bailly has enabled some of the money that may have been earmarked for a centre-back. So they were going to there's a problem with the Sancho deal in the sense of if they had to buy a centre-back and they had to sign a striker, if Cavani left and Bailly left, then there may not have been the money to sign Jadon Sancho. Those two renewals of contracts mean that more money can be siphoned off towards the Jadon Sancho deal as opposed to those positions. However, if Raphael Varane is available for between 30 and 40 million, that is a deal that Manchester United can get done. There is going to be 3 or 4 players leaving this summer that will raise additional money. The same as in those striker positions and midfield positions. We are not going to spend over 30, 40 million pound on players in those areas unless we sell somebody that raises funds. So unless we sell the goalie for a lot of money, as in David De Gea, unless we sell Pogba, unless we sell Martial, assets that are going to raise a good amount of funds in the market, Man United are not going to sell. So Raphael Varane is a player that we should be going hell for leather for if he wants to play for Man United because he is cheap. He's ridiculously cheap at £40 million. Yeah, when you consider he is at Van Dijk's level-ish, and Van Dijk's worth how much in the market? Because of his contract situation at Real Madrid, he's available for cheap. Pay him a bit extra in salary if you have to. Whoever lands him is going to improve dramatically going into next season because he's that good of a centre back. Listen, bro, thank you for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, my guy. Top man. Remember, we have a brand new membership tiering system now available on the Football Terrace. We'd love you to become a member and read the benefits and the rewards of all the new things that are on offer for you. We've just posted a link in the comment section, and I'm going to pin it actually when it comes through for me in a second. I'm going to pin it to the live chats functionality. Go and check it out. There's some amazing new perks, including access to watch us record and stream live on the brand new show that's being launched next season called the Football Terrace Away Days. So go and check that out right about now and let us know what you think. Next caller on the show we're going to get on is going to get Mr. ABC Abs is coming on with us here. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, Terry. What are you saying, big man?
Yeah, I'm very good indeed. What transfer are you here to talk about?
I was going to talk about the Varane and the Hazard thing as well.
Go for it, bro. Go for it.
Yeah, with the Varane, because obviously I've always said that a CDM and a right mid for me is priority. But like you said, if we can get Varane for 40 million, that should be one of our top priorities. But for some reason, I see him ending up at Liverpool or at Chelsea or even at Bayern Munich. But if we can do it, I think that'll be a good snip.
I do apologize. One sec, my daughter just come home and showed me a lovely little beautiful butterfly she made today at school. There it is. It's very, very pretty. Is that for Daddy? That's for you. It's not even for me. There you go. Give me a kiss. Hello. Give me a kiss. Love you. Go close the door for me, and I'll see you when I come out. Okay. I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Love you. Okay. Is that what you got to say? Right. She gives me so much disrespect. So much there. No, listen. I hear what you're saying on that. How much improvement will a Varane give to a Man United, a Chelsea, a Liverpool?
Title challenge. That's how much of an improvement he is. I think probably he's the top 5 best centre back in the world at the moment. Top 5, yeah, I will probably say is a good shout. So if you add in a top 5 centre back in the world, it's going to improve any team. I don't care who it is. So I think I'll be shocked if all the big boys don't go for him. I'll be really shocked. For 40 million, that's a snippet. You know, that's crazy. That obviously Real Madrid are going to sell him for 40 million. And it sort of shows the finances Real Madrid are in at the moment as well. But yeah, it's interesting. 40 mil.
And in terms of Hazard, so you kind of mentioned him a few moments ago. Can you see him coming back to the Premier League?
No.
Why is that?
Because no one can afford Hazard. As much as Itis in the comments is saying Man United is swapping for Rashford, that's stupid. I'm sorry. As much as I love Hazard, and at one point he was a top 5 player in the world, this Hazard at the moment is unmotivated. He's fat. He's lazy, and he needs to get back his love for football. At the moment, he's like Gareth Bale. His mind's on something else, not football. And if we're going to spend that much money on that type of player, it's stupid. For me, I don't see him leaving Real Madrid. Real Madrid can try and sell him. I think they're in the same situation as the Bell, because who's going to pay what? How much is Bell? How much do you think Hazard's going to cost? What, 60, 70 million?
Yeah, I mean, what we can actually do here quickly, we can take a listen to this. This is what Sky Sports had to say about this earlier.
And they will listen to offers for Eden Hazard this summer. He's scored only 4 times since he moved from Chelsea 2 years ago now, in a deal worth up to 130 million. Of course, Hazard has suffered injury problems. He's only featured in 30 games in 2 seasons in Spain, not in the squad for their game against Villarreal on Saturday. And Real Madrid, enduring a tough season, they finished without a major trophy for the first time since 2010. Also, the collapse of the European Super League and Real's continued interest in Kylian Mbappe from PSG and also Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund mean that Real Madrid need to raise some money, and perhaps they see Hazard as the best way to do that. They also will listen to offers for players like Gareth Bale and Luka Jovic. Hazard, well, great time in the Premier League. I wonder would he be coming back here potentially. He wants.
Yeah, it's obviously interesting what they say there. I mean, Real Madrid need to raise money. I suppose the conundrum is he's been so poor, and look, Zard boys, it's not about his ability. He just hasn't had a good time. They spent it was revealed last year, actually, in the accounts. It was 150 million pound the deal went through for. They're not getting anywhere near. They're getting. I honestly, I don't think you're getting more than 60, 70 million pound for Hazard. Like I still
think that's still too much for this current Hazard. Like realistically, there's only the Premier League clubs that can buy Hazard. Man U not going to buy him. Man City not going to buy him. Chelsea, I would love to get Chelsea fans' opinion, because I feel like Chelsea are the only club that could probably do it. But why would they do it? That'll be the question for me. Because he's 30 years old. He's not the same Hazard. For me, he's been one of the biggest flops in the last 10 years, if we're going to be honest.
Well, in terms of Real Madrid transfers, 150 million pound, an attacker, and he scored 4 goals in 2 seasons. That's the greatest flop of all time.
It has to be.
And that's not a disrespect to it just is. It is 4 goals. Like Dan James has had a better 2 years than Hazard. And I know that he's been injured, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Real Madrid have hemorrhaged 150 million pounds. on the player that scored 4. You add the wages in, it's probably cost them about 220 million pounds for 4. It's over 50 million pound a goal. It's mad when you say it like that. Viewers, we want your views on your opinions on. Is Eden Hazard the biggest flop in European football history? At that, when you hear it put in that context, what are you saying, people? Final word, Ab. Final word,
yeah,
mate.
because I was going to say, because when Hazard was at Chelsea, I think it's not debatable. He was a top 5 best player on the planet. Is Hazard even in the top 20, top 25 right now? Top 30? You know, how far down is Hazard gone that you probably say he's even in the top 14? You know, that's an indictment on him. And anyone that spends anything over 60 million on him, for me, that's crazy.
Oh, it's interesting. I've just had an update. Thank you very much, by the way, mate. Thank you very, very much indeed. Top man. I've been given an update on the Hazard situation, but I need to go back for more clarity. I've been told here, I just said Hazard to Chelsea return. Could it happen? And he says not far from now. Far from now. The news about Chelsea has to purpose to put pressure on the player and his entourage. I don't quite know what that means. I'm going to go back when we're all talking that. I'm going to go back to Sasha with a text message and just say, "What do you mean by that?" Because I don't get what that means. I just got an update from him. I wanted to give it to you, but it doesn't quite make sense to me. So we'll get that done later. Next on the show, Chelsea fan Abs is here. What are you saying, Abs?
So first and foremost, as much as I love Eden Hazard, and I think he's probably the most technical footballer that's ever played for our football club, the only person I can say who matches that tech was probably Gianfranco Zola, because I know, Terry, you were old enough to see him play, and he was just a magician. As much as I love him, I don't see why it makes sense for him to come back. It's like, more time when you have transfers that, or players that were good while they lasted at your club, and then eventually they just move on, and, sometimes they end up having better careers, sometimes their career just goes down the line. So, for example, when Vidic left and went into Milan, right, in 2013, do you reckon that despite the fact that he wasn't as successful at Inter as he was at Man United, it would have made sense to bring him back?
Sorry, say that again?
You know how when Vidic left Man United to go to Inter, right, and he wasn't that good?
Yeah, but that's because Vidic was past his best when he left us.
I don't know.
And Hazard, I'm not even saying Hazard is maybe he's past his best. Maybe he's gone now. Maybe the injuries have taken too much away from him. I don't know what the actual answer is. But the amount of money that Real Madrid are going to want for him, I think he's a massive, massive risk. If you were told now that you're going to sell Pulisic or sell Mount or sell Hudson-Odoi, but you were going to get Hazard back, what would your feelings towards that be?
Oh, listen, I'm all for romanticism, but no, come on, we can't be doing that. That's jeopardizing our future. Eden Hazard, he moved on. He did what he did for us, and now it's time, for us to go our own separate way. If the one thing about selling Eden Hazard was we shoved in Real Madrid for £150 million and managed to go and cop some elite level ballers, even though they've not really worked out just yet. So who really lost that? In fact, let's put it out. Who really lost, Chelsea or Real Madrid, with giving £150 million? But yeah, so also on the Varane thing, I agree with what my bro Ab said earlier, in that Varane would instantly improve any other team. I know that he going into a new league is, he's going to need that time to adjust. But if you deep it, he's still one of the best defenders in the world. He's still only 28. He still, could easily, he wouldn't make us a title challenging team, because we still need much more than Varane if we're going to challenge for the league. But I think he could make Man United challenge for the league. I think he'd make Liverpool probably, if not win the league, at least put a very good challenge for the league. He'd make Man City walk away with the league every single year. He would be an instant improvement on any defender you've got at your current club, apart from the select few.
Sweet. Listen, Abs, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Really appreciate that, bro. Top man. We have a comment here that says, bro, he gave us everything. It's only right that we get him back. And it would make sense, especially if we get Lukaku, because of their link up. Eldo3 wants Hazard back at Chelsea. What do you all think? What do you all make of that? Next up, Francisco is here with us. He's a Liverpool fan. What are you here to say, mate?
On the Varane stuff, do you know what? After you said he's 40 million, Do you know what? I genuinely think we should put a bid in for him because that link up, just thinking of Varane and Virgil together, would be insane. I have a feeling Konaté is already done. I have a feeling it will be announced on June 1st. And even that, Konaté and Van Dijk would be insane. But Varane and Van Dijk? Oh my God. I genuinely think we actually might win the league. Because I remember, I forgot who said it, but it's attacks win games, defenses win leagues.
Fergie.
Okay, that's, yeah, even better. So Varane and Virgil, come on now. With Alisson behind them, Fabinho ahead, come on now. And then all we just need to do is keep creating chances, and the forwards will score.
And I think what's so important about what you're saying there is we know how good Joe Gomez can be.
Yeah.
We know how good Konaté could be. But where Liverpool fell short this season was you were too thin beyond your main 12, 13 players. And then your coach, your manager didn't put enough faith in players early enough. As soon as he did, as soon as he put square pegs in square holes, round holes, you clicked into gear almost overnight. And I think what he's looking at and what he's looking at FSG to do is, listen, give me a deeper squad and I will definitely make sure I don't make that mistake again, playing midfielders at centre-back for too many weeks, too many months, because it cost us and it ruined the flow of our team. It probably even was one of the reasons that Thiago took so long to settle.
Not completely.
Because he was playing with average midfielders next to him rather than the elite end. And all players play better with world-class players. So I think it's something that Liverpool need to look at. And at £40 million, it's massive. No one knows how... None of you know how Van Dijk's going to be after this major knee injury.
No, that is very true. Although from the videos, he does look like he's still got his balling ability. Of course, we need to see how he is tackling and in games. But I genuinely think even at 80%, he's still better than most centre-backs. Also, people forget, Thiago was assaulted by Richarlison within the 5th game of the season, and he was out for 3 months, and he took him time to get back to match fitness. Like, end of the day, once he got back to full fitness and he had Fabinho next to him, you could see his quality. He's had several man of the matches performances. Like, he's a true baller. And next season, with a proper centre-backs behind him, I have a feeling we'll genuinely be contending for the title. And all we need to do as well is probably get a proper attacker. Whether we go big or not, it's another question. But I have a feeling with the right signings, maybe 2 or 3 more, because I think Konaté is pretty much done. Yeah, we might be in title contention again.
There we go. Listen, Francisco, thank you for calling up and having your say. Liverpool fans standing very confident ahead of this summer. Thank you, by the way, to Vol, the producer, for upgrading your membership to legend and super fan level. Thank you very, very much indeed. Amazing perks that come with that. Next on the show, we've got Lumas Football is going to be here. The panel are coming very, very soon to start ranking and tiering this show. We've got Sonny coming on. Slens is going to be with us. Cam is going to be here. KJ's already here. But Lumas Football's here. What are you saying?
Yeah, hello. First time on the show, mate.
Lovely. Who do you support?
Manchester United.
What do you want to say?
Okay, well, I actually think, in my opinion, a lot of people are overrating Raphael Varane. In my opinion, he's a good player, but I don't think he's top 5 defenders. And physical wise, he's very good. He has a lot of pace for a defender. But in terms of having a brain, I don't think he's at the top. I wouldn't say he's the best defensively.
Okay. I mean, when you say no brain, what do you mean by that?
I wouldn't put him I wouldn't give him the brain of how Van Dijk is.
Yeah, I mean, Van Dijk's the best in the world, though. So I think that's fair. But you're a Man United fan. If he was playing next to Maguire, how much better would Man United defense be?
Yeah, it would obviously be an upgrade to players like Lindelof and Eric Bailly, but I think they have better options out there, like Pau Torres.
Okay, and why is Pau Torres better than him in your view? What's Pau Torres got that Raphael Varane doesn't?
I think he's better defensively. He does not carry the same physical traits as him, like pace, and Varane is a very good passer, but we already have Maguire to do the passing. So I think Pau Torres will bring that extra venom in the defense. He'll be like a kind of player like Vidic in a way.
There we go. Listen, you're entitled to those opinions. Viewers, do you agree with Loomis there? Thank you very, very much for calling into the show, bro, and having your say. Raphael Varane overrated. Pau Torres a better option. The lack of football brain is what he's been accused of there by that caller. Dishan, so the difference in the level, if you click on our membership page, it will break down all 4 tiers and what you get on all 4 tiers. I'm not going to go through them all right this second, but the higher your membership, the more perks, the more access you get. We're creating a lot of stuff at the moment. So go and have a little look on the membership page, my guy. And while I say that, actually, thank you very, very much to UV, who is signed up to the legend and super fan category as well. So that's another person that signed up to that today, which is amazing. We've got Mohammed on the show with us now. Mohammed's a Liverpool fan. What are you saying, buddy?
Hello, how are you doing, Terry?
Yeah, I'm very, very good, mate. What's on your mind?
So yeah, I think Varane would be a good signing for Liverpool. What, 40 million? That's even if it doesn't work out, it's still a low risk signing. So you can still sell him on if he doesn't work out. And yeah, it'd be good for us as well if we have Van Dijk as well partnering him, and that's like almost guaranteed us winning, or almost guarantee us winning the league. As well, as long as we have Konaté in there along with Phillips and maybe Gomez, then that would be strong enough defensively for us to go on with a title charge next season.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Liverpool, 2 months ago, I didn't hear a single Liverpool fan say they think they can win the league next year. I think you're the 7th person to phone in 2 days now to say you think you can win the league next year. Is that form at the back end of the season sort of really reinvigorated your confidence in Jurgen Klopp?
Oh, well, even with this bad form, I always thought we would be back next year, considering that we made the right signings and stuff like that. Maybe less so if we were in the Europa League, because that would be much more difficult to win the Premier League if you're in the Europa League in the same season. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Listen, bro, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate that, my guy. Thank you, Mohammed. So Sasha's come back to me now, actually, and he said the things I told you in the show the other day are still good for now. He says Hazard wants to stay at Real Madrid, but it's Real Madrid that want to try and push him away. So all of these talks about him wanting a Chelsea return are simply not true. He said that you're going to see, basically saying you're going to see a number of media stories come out to put pressure on the Hazard camp. But the Real Madrid faithful thinking he wants to leave. They're going to push it from one end and maybe to try and drum up some interest from some other clubs. But as it stands right now, Hazard does not want to leave Real Madrid. So the reports today that he wants a Chelsea return, according to Sasha, that I trust because he's shown me the people that he knows within the Belgian pyramid of football, he has not asked to leave as it stands right now. Yeah, the link has been shared. I'm still waiting for the likes of Slens and Sonny to arrive, and then we're going to bring on the boys. We're going to start the tiering session very, very soon. So we're going to start tiering and ranking our team of the year. I'm not sure where everybody is. right now. I know KJ and Cam are there, so I'm going to bring them in. I'm going to wait for the others to arrive. I'm not going to make them wait too long. Terry, can a member tell Terry Konaté to Liverpool is done and is flying? I mean, a member can tell me whatever they want. That's cool. I don't quite get it. But KJ, Sonny's arrived now. But we've got Sonny's here, KJ's here, Cam is here. How you doing, gents?
Good. Bring me Varane. Bring him to me. Bring him right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to what Sonny says this time around. There's always something.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. On Varane, you're linked with him now, Sonny, since you qualify for the Champions League. Varane or Nate Phillips next season?
Well, no, Konaté and Nat Phillips instead of Varane. We don't need Varane. We need to invest it in other areas. So Nat Phillips, keep him. Bring Konaté in. Konaté, in my opinion, would be better than Varane for us anyway. So Varane, Konaté and Nat Phillips instead of Varane.
For once, yeah. No, he's talking about like he would rather keep Nat Phillips and bring Konaté for the same price that just getting rid of Nat Phillips and Konaté and getting Varane. I understand that. I don't get why Liverpool fans are like, oh yeah, Varane is like, you guys are literally about signing Konaté. You're keeping Joe Gomez. You're gonna sell Matip. and you're going to keep Nat Phillips. You've got your 4 centre backs there. Yeah, you're not going to need any more. So, and you got Reece Williams too. So I don't think Liverpool will be anywhere near Varane. Chelsea though, I think they're the man, or they're the people that potentially could get him in the end. I think with Chelsea and United, there's that chance for him to show that he's a leader, because one of the things that people say about him is, he's not a leader, he needs Varane to hold his hand, blah, 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 blah. At Varane, so he needs Ramos to hold his hand. At Liverpool, he has Van Dijk, so he won't be able to escape that whole need someone better than him. You know
Can I say something?
Him and Maguire, you can say, Varane's better than him, or around the same level, like if you want to argue.
Well, he's a good match for him because like the pace, and I mean, obviously he's a proven winner and whatnot. But I'm in the camp of like, listen to his demands, but realistically, if they get too high, if Real want way too much money, then I'm in the camp of just go get Pau Torres, because that's who Real's going to replace him with. So
I heard Terry say earlier, I tuned in for like a minute while I was outside. He said Maguire and Varane would be on paper the best centre-back partnership in the league.
They would be.
No, they wouldn't.
On paper, yeah.
On paper.
Wait. Who are you saying is better? Nat Phillips and Van Dijk?
No. Gomez and Van Dijk are better. That's not even funny. That's literally.
I think that's a fair. It's a fair thing. But I always use the paper thing here because you don't quite know. Because if I'd have said to you at the beginning of the season, the best pet partnership this season in the Prem was going to be John Stones and Diaz, because of the word John Stones, on paper, you would never have said yes. But in reality, they were absolutely brilliant together as a partnership. I think Raphael Varane and Maguire would be exceptional together, and I think in reality would push Gomez and Van Dijk. The one reason that I would say right now I put more faith in the other two is that both Gomez and Van Dijk have suffered major injuries this season, and on paper we have no idea of knowing how good they're going to be when they return. So that's the only reason I'm putting that in there, rather than just going on the history levels. But gents, we're going to be tiering and picking the team of the year this afternoon, which is going to be quite a bit of fun. I'm really looking forward to doing that. I really, really am. So get yourselves ready in relation to that. I have sent, Slens is meant to be here. I've sent him the link. He said he's going to come on. I sent the link, but I don't know where he is.
Yeah, Terry, can you add another tier which says bench? So we can add like some bench players towards the end as well.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that right now.
I'm not being funny. Is Nat Phillips on there though? Because he does deserve to be there.
Oh my god! I know you're not being funny. I knew to
say. In my head, I should have said.
Is he not on there? Is he not?
Why would he be?
Why would he be?
Why wouldn't he?
He's played. How many games has he played for Liverpool this season?
Second half of the season. He's in that second half.
So how many games has he played this season?
Right, look, hang on. All right, listen. I can't tell you how many games he's played, but I got a stat. I screenshot this the other day. Who scored? They do the rankings or whatever on after games. 4th place in the Premier League this season, Ruben Diaz 6.92. 3rd place in the Premier League this season, John Stones 7.03. This is average rating. 2nd place, Harry Maguire, which surprised me, 7.04.
Sonny,
and you'd never guess in 12 places by a mile. 7.29 is Nat Phillips.
Sonny, how many games has he played?
I can't tell you how many games he's played, but he's played enough.
No, he's played. So in the comments, they were saying 17.
That's like
that's not even half of the league season, bro.
Oh, well, it's 2 games off half the season.
But it's not enough to be.
It's not enough to be put team in the season.
And
also, Sonny, do you know why his average is so high? It's because he's played 17 games. The other man have played 36.
And let's be honest, the latter half of the year for Liverpool was a joke.
Since when is 17 games not a lot?
Look, I understand where you're coming from with it. Like I do get that in terms of the points ranking, but this is the problem if you're going to use that score ranking. Like Harry Maguire, I think has been in the team of the year like 2 or 3 years running because of that system. When it comes to stats, like Harry Maguire is legitimately like one of the best defenders out there. And this is what I get, I'm not annoyed with you about as such, but you have a stat argument to get Nat Phillips into a team of the year. But when you say that Maguire is one of the best centre-backs in the league based on the stats, everyone laughs at you. Those Those two things can't coexist at the same time.
No, but there's a complete difference. Maguire has a lot of mistakes leading to goals. I can't name you one or two mistakes that Nat Phillips has done leading to goals.
But he's played less games.
But what am I meant to say? Like, what are we just going to add another 10 games and pretend they'd be bad?
Based on that, so if next season in the first 17 games of the season, a striker outscores in them 17 games Harry Kane, does that instantly make that striker better than Harry Kane?
No, but that's you can't do that. But I'll tell you why. Yeah, because Nat Phillips, the first half of the season, our centre backs were available. So this guy, we need to put in context as well, has been brought in as an emergency centre back. So you can only imagine the pressure.
I'm going to stop now because we haven't even got to the centre back area yet. So we're debating something before we've even got there. So we will come back to that in a little bit. Neeks is here with us now as well. Afternoon, my guy. Afternoon.
Where's Slens? Where is Slens? We because people want to talk about there's too many United fans. We've been asking other people to come from other teams and they're not showing up. So
how many goals? So I have a question for Sonny. How many goals, like errors leading to goals, do you think Maguire had this year? Just
how
curious.
many? Say again.
You said he has a lot of errors leading to goals. You said how many do you think he's had?
I can't tell you how many, but I can tell you a percentage of the goals United concede. A good amount.
So Terry just called you out on the problem that we have with you is that you're talking about stats need to put Nat Phillips in there. You're throwing out a stat that's bringing down Maguire. Maguire had one error registered that led to a goal this year.
Oh come on now, that's
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but that's the stat.
You're going to use stats. Like, you're not using the eye test. You're not saying, I've seen him make mistakes. You're saying a stat blindly because you brought it up.
When I said that wasn't a stat.
Guys, we're going to go back to it in a minute. But Nate Phillips, if I remember correctly, was out of position for one of the goals we scored against you in the FA Cup at Old Trafford. It was Nate Phillips that was caught ball watching. Quite a few of the goals when he was first in the team, where your line was too high. He was getting the ball played past him. There was bad positioning from him. I have to go back and watch it. Nobody was raving about him until these last few games. I'm not saying he didn't have a good end to the season. I'm not saying he hasn't put in some good performances, but he's sort of acting like he's the second coming of Raphael Varane. But listen, no.
I'm not even going to start a debate with this.
Wait. When we get onto centre backs, we'll do it. We're not doing it now.
I'm not debating anything. Just really quick. When he said when
we get to centre backs, let's do it in chronological order.
Oh, right. Okay.
When we get to centre backs. Otherwise, it's pointless doing what we're doing. Like, we're going to end up. We might as well start debating the strikers in a minute. That's what we've got to do. Most Liverpool fans don't agree with you, by the way. But anyway, we'll get onto that a little bit. The United Terrace is trending. Listen, I've asked Arsenal fans to come on. People are busy. They're doing
KJ's a Chelsea fan.
Listen. Only because I don't hate Chelsea as much as you do, bruv. It don't equate me being a Chelsea fan.
Right. So let's crack on with this now. So we've added the bench category as requested there. What I'll do, let me just change. I'll change the colouring of the bench in a few moments' time as well. First pick, though, I'm going to go to KJ. I'm going to give you the first pick. I'm going to let you pick who do you think the goalkeeper should be, bro?
Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez came into a relegated team. A team that's about to be relegated, got saved by technology not working. He came into that team and he helped elevate their defense to a point where they can actually were competing for Europe. They fell off towards the end because their outfield player in Jack Grealish got injured. But the way he helped that defense, the way he kept them in games, for me, the impact he's had at Aston Villa is worth him getting team of the season. How do you get a team from going from 17th to 10th and challenging for Europe? You don't do that by coincidence. So for me, has to be Emi Martinez. And plus, he's the goalkeeper that Arsenal should have kept as well. There is also that.
Is everybody in agreement with that?
No. It's a contentious one.
I think Edouard Mendy, to be honest. I think the Chelsea goalkeeper position was one that was very heavily scrutinized because of how much Kepa cost and obviously the mistakes they made. I think there was a lot of doubt on Mendy, including from myself. Who is Mendy? Where does he come from? What's his credentials? Can he be the Chelsea goalkeeper? I think he's been brilliant. With all the turmoil that's gone on with Chelsea this season, I think he's one of the few of all their signings you can say, yeah, he was a success. And he doesn't. because under Tuchel, he hasn't had to make as many saves because the defensive structure's been better. But when he's called upon, he makes very good saves.
But that'll be my question though. Is his form and the way that he looks, is it down to Tuchel and his system and his system? Because even under Frank Lampard, he was the goalkeeper and they were 9th.
Yeah, but I think under Lampard, at that point, you would still say he was probably one of their best signings at that point. Him and Thiago Silva, among all of that. So
Villa were going to get relegated.
Say that again.
Villa were on the verge of relegation last season, so I think.
Yeah, and I agree with you. One of the best players in the Premier League this year. So it's not all. I'm not saying you're saying it, but Martinez is a part of it. But Grealish but
if you add the context to Mendy, his defense has been a part of his form as well. So if you're gonna do that,
it's never just one person or not.
Martinez's save percentage is ridiculous. The amount of shots he gets hit with in a game is insane. It's got to be Emi Martinez. Like I like it was funny when you look at like the choice that teams make, like Leno versus Martinez. That cost Arsenal multiple points this year. They probably would have been in Europe based on how they ended the season if they had a better keeper. Let's be honest.
There we go. I think vote-wise on the panel, that's where it's at. Mendy's there if any Chelsea fans want to put him in at some later on in the show with their super chats. So that's going to be Martinez there. Fullbacks. I'm going to go to Sonny first. I want you to pick your fullback, your right back. Who would you say has been the best right back in the league this year?
Right back. I'd go Trent. I would go Trent.
Come on!
No. Let me explain it. It's been a massive thing, yeah. Bad start to the season. The other competition, maybe Reece James, had a good start to the season. Second half of this season, there's the creativity of this man. They're defending it, and if you want to bring stats up, which I don't know where this whole thing comes out. I always bring stats. Statistically, the best defensive right back in the league this season. Creativity's right at the top, obviously. And who else is over him? Reece James, a bad second half of the season. Kyle Walker, probably the weak link in the Man City team, doesn't even start half the time. Wan-Bissaka, once again, with Harry Maguire conceding half of their goals due to his positioning, it's got to be Trent.
What? Second half of the season, bro. That's all I'm hearing.
No, because no one's had a good full season. Reece James has been better. No, he's had a bad end to the season. Reece James had a good first half of the season, bad second half.
Hang on. So João Cancelo has a bad last couple of months and you ruled him out, but Trent has a good last couple of months and he wins it after having a bad start.
No, because it's been more than a couple months.
It's been about 10 games.
It's been literally Trent came through for you guys in the end in the last 10 games of the season compared to the rest of the 28, bro. Come on, man.
And those 28 games, it was still a debate that it's going to be him as the best right
back.
No,
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Wait, I saw Trent getting skinned by Jack Harrison, freaking Jack Grealish, them Fulham wingers, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, 10 games.
Can we stop talking about the end of the season for Liverpool?
João Cancelo, if we're going to speak about moments, what did he do against Newcastle when he got sent off straight away? Or Brighton, sent off straight away, made them lose the game.
João Cancelo was part of the team week in, week out that went on a record-breaking run in the Premier League, which set up City winning the Premier League. I think to this season, I love AWB. I think Reece James is going to be a star. I love Trent Alexander-Arnold as a footballer overall. I still think he needs to move further forward. I still think defensively, you know what's interesting? Statistically, you're right. He'll win a lot of tackles. He gets caught out of position so regularly. He's a weak link defensively for your football club. There is no doubt about that. He is. But he makes up for it with his impeccable creativity. But João Cancelo has to be the guy.
I don't think it's either of them.
Kufal.
I think it's Sufal.
West Ham.
Yeah.
Why'd you pick him?
I think he's been consistent throughout the season. He hasn't really. I think he's come up with good, big assists for a team like West Ham at certain times, and I think he's just been solid. He hasn't been a case of he's been dropped or moved position or anything like that. And I know that the competition at West Ham is not the same at Man City, etc. But if we're talking about a team that was down in relegation up to a team that's challenging for Europe and obviously qualifying for Europe, I think he's just been a consistent, David Moyes don't have to worry about, do I need to rotate? Do I need to bring someone else in? I think he's got about 7 or 8 assists in the league this season. For a fullback, that's brilliant. Let's be honest, it's brilliant. And I think there has to be West Ham representation if we're doing a team of the season. Has to be.
Listen, I think you make a great shout there. Panel, we're going to vote. Who wants Trent in? 1 vote. Cancelo? 2 votes. Sufal? I'm going to go with him as well, actually. You convinced me. So
yeah, you know what? Sufal, you know what?
So it's you know why? Do you know why you could go Sufal, though? Because Zhao does play left back and right back. He plays both.
Yeah,
so it's like
I'm not arguing.
Okay,
I'm not debating.
You know what we'll do? We'll put Sufal in. We're going to put Sufal into that team for now. There he is down there. So we're going to move him up into that first role. We're going to go to Cam next. Best left back in the league this year. Cam, who is it?
I hate that it's so easy. It's Luke Shaw. Like, it's not even close. I mean, if Chelsea had played Ben Chilwell a bit more, maybe. But Luke Shaw's hands down been the best left back in the league. The stats, the eye test, everything. He stayed healthy, luckily for us. I just think that's an easy call. He's going to be in the team of the year. Every pundit's going to put him in their team of the year. It's an easy one. People can say it's United bias. I know, but it's just the truth. Like, this is
no, but when it's facts, it's facts.
It's facts.
Considering the fact that Tellers came in and most of us thought that he would be the guy to replace Luke Shaw, but he's actually fended him off and said, "Naturally, this is my spot. I'm taking this." And you've got to give it to him. It has to be him. I don't see anyone else who's had a better season than me at left back.
100% agree.
Everyone looks like they're agreeing with that one. So Luke Shaw has been moved into the left back position. That's the fullbacks and the goalkeeper picked from the panel here. Any super chats you put in? Remember, £5 to move someone up or down, in or out, I should say. As you know, we don't do it on this one. It's not up or down because the way the tiering's done. We've just put a book on their names. If you want a player in, you pay for it. They go in, and it will cost you whatever their book is to get them out. We're always going to pay homage to people that have done that in the past. Next pick is going to go to Neeks, and we're going to move on to the centre backs. And we're going to do centre back pairings. So pick your best 2 in this position, Neeks. But who are the best 2 centre backs this season in the Premier League?
Surprise, surprise! I won't be going for Nat Phillips. For me, I think Ruben Diaz is a shoe-in. I don't think anyone's going to debate that. I'm going with Harry Maguire. I think Harry Maguire is massively underrated and disrespected. When Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher were doing their England squad, and Gary Neville made a comment that if Harry Maguire doesn't go to this, is injured for the England squad, that is their biggest issue. That will be their biggest problem. People are like, well, he's not their best player. But he is that important. And when you look at the dearth of centre-backs, when we actually look at the Premier League, Harry Maguire is massively underrated. He might not be Rio, he might not be Vidic, he might not be Terry, but we're dealing with what we've got right now. And I think he has been consistent in terms of both appearances, actually being available, and performances in a Man United side that has finished second when nobody thought we will finish second. And we've seen the difference between Man United with Maguire and without Maguire in about 3 or 4 games. I think he's been massively underrated, and I think Stones is benefiting from the fact that he's got Diaz, whereas Maguire, we know Lindelof is a very poor Premier League level defender. Bailly and Tuanzebe have not hit the ground running or done anything great. Maguire's had to hold together with Luke Shaw, but hold together our defense at times with the goalkeeper behind changing mid-season as well.
I would love to put Maguire in there. Like, he has been, I agree. I think he's been very underrated this season, and I think he's a very underrated player in general, just because the way he looks, the way he moves, and he can be quite comical at times. But I want to give that second spot to Fofana. I for the age that he is, coming into the Premier League fresh, the season that he's had, being one of Leicester's best centre backs, and yes, they stumbled in the end, but what he did this season, I think, is very, very commendable. And Maguire is Maguire. He's been in the Premier League and he's been doing what he's doing. But a young man from France who played in Ligue 1, which people don't rate as a league, coming in and being a strong centre back next to Johnny Evans, I think he deserves to get in there.
Sonny, what's your thoughts, mate? Who would your 2 centre backs be?
Diaz and Nat Phillips. And before I even give my whole reasoning and say why wouldn't you put Nat Phillips in? And I want to go back to the point where you said people are only hyping up Nat Phillips now. I've been doing it since the end of January, start of February. Every single game that he's came in and done started amazing. But the thing is, when he started amazing, there was always that bit in everyone's head saying, oh, but he's not Phillips. Maybe he won't do it next game. Maybe he won't do it next game. And the surprise has been he's done it the next game. He's done it the next game. He's done it the next game. He hasn't had a bad game in a Liverpool shirt yet. Do you know how mad that is? Our only fit senior centre-back. Coming in to partner Reece Williams and a man called Kabak from a by far relegated Schalke team. And Nat Phillips has took that Liverpool team to third place. I don't want to even say Reece Williams makes us play with 10 men. Nat Phillips has brought this 10-man team to third place. He's one of my players of the season. So there's no way he does not get into this.
17 games. 17 games.
Even moving the 17 games aside, when you said why not, Diaz has been better. Okay, firstly, Fofana has been better over the course of the season. Maguire, I'm sure Neeks, I'm putting words in his mouth, he thinks he's been better than him over the course of this season. John Stones has been better than him over the course of this season, as an example. So I look at it, and that's just off the top of my head. Without even
Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans has been better than this season.
No, that's what you're just saying. Games played, like those names they're only above him because games played. Like no other reason.
They're better than him because they've had better seasons than him. So that's it's not about Nat Phillips. I think what you fail to sometimes understand is it's not just about Nat Phillips has done well since he's come in. He's got better and better, but it doesn't mean he deserves to be in the player team of the year. There have been centre backs that have had better seasons than him, in my opinion. Who would your picks be, Cam?
I'd probably go with Diaz and Stones. I'd probably just keep that pairing, just because of how good they were all year. I agree with I see why Neeks is taking Maguire, especially since what we've seen without Maguire. And we're fourth in clean sheets. Like if you look at the stats, I think but City's just clear on clean sheets, and I think the reason they were is because that Stones and Diaz partnership just came out of nowhere. Like if you told me John Stones was going to be the guy to partner Diaz to a potentially Champions League final, win. You could be the Champions League winners and the Premier League. It's got to be that pairing.
I could tell you something more mad. Could you imagine if someone told you Nat Phillips and Reece Williams will get Liverpool to third place? I wouldn't have believed you.
Wait, so did they get Liverpool to third place? I thought it was Trent being the best right back, Salah being the golden boot winner nearly.
No one else.
I don't want to hear that name.
Thiago's not a flop, so obviously he had his bit.
No. Thiago's.
Sorry, can I say something then? So, okay, you've been bringing up the last 17 games or whatever. Okay, Liverpool played Crystal Palace. You played Burnley, West Brom, Japan United, great, cool. Southampton, Newcastle, Leeds, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Wolves, Fulham, and you lost that game. And then so you've only played in the last 10 or 11 games 2 teams in the top 4, and you're talking about how great this Nat Phillips guy has been when he's played those last 17 games. He's not if we're going to talk about context is you had a very easy run of the second half of the season. So yes, he looked a lot better. If it was a full season, then maybe I'd be like, cool, whatever. Maybe you could talk about him. But let's be for real, man. You guys are in third for a reason. You only got there because everyone's saying, oh, we're only in second because Liverpool dropped off. You're lucky Leicester dropped off and we had 6 games in 3 days. So can we stop with this Nat Phillips thing, bro?
I got a perfect comeback. The perfect comeback, yeah? Not a perfect comeback. The games we dropped points in, which made top 4 seem unrealistic, was Newcastle 1-1 late equaliser and Leeds 1-1 late equaliser. Guess who didn't play in those games? Nat Phillips.
Okay, but that didn't count out the rest of the games.
Hang on a minute.
The rest of the games.
Hang on a minute. Right. So I get your argument that those games you should have put to bed. You were all over those teams, and you didn't finish your dinner, and you collapsed at the end. You weren't being torn apart the whole game. It wasn't like, oh my god, if we we got battered today and we weren't able to keep them out. It was 2 silly late goals. Again, the biggest issue in those games was your attacking players this year that let you down by not finishing their dinner. I think Nate Phillips has been good. But listen, what we're going to do, if Nate Phillips has a shout, then so does Rudiger and Christensen for sure, since they had great second halves.
It's true.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do, I'm going to leave it like this for now because all the other players the panelist mentions, Maguire, Fofana, Phillips and Stones have 1 vote each from all of them. So we're going to put Diaz in, and we're going to let the viewers decide with their super chats who is going to go into that. So we'll fill the rest of that out a little bit later. Grey Wolf Dinner, I haven't missed your super chat. We'll do it once we finish picking our team, and we'll get those moves into play as well. That super chat just went up about Rudiger and Christensen. If you want it to be one of those players, just say you want it to be one of those players, and we will get them into the team with the super chat. So let's move on to the the midfielders here. We're going to go 4-3-3. So we're going to pick 3 midfield players. I'm going to go to KJ first of all. Give me your 3 midfield players, please.
I'll get that out of the way. I think everyone will have to say this. Put Bruno Fernandes in there straight away. Just whack him in there. 18 goals in the league, 12 assists. He's been the best midfielder in the league. Like, I don't think anyone can really be upset by that. So he goes in there straight away. Next to him, I also have Silky Gundogan in there because he was the driving force that really got Man City going during that period of just those 20 wins in a row, man. It was ridiculous what they was doing. And I think without him, they are struggling for some goals at some period in the season because he was getting quite a few of them. They didn't have a goal scorer. I don't know who the highest goal scorer was in the Premier League, but they didn't have a lot of 15s or 17s in there. They had a lot of good 10s, 11s, and he's 9s, and he's in there, part of them. So I think Gundogan goes in there for me. And the last spot is difficult because there's quite a few players who've had a good season as well. So you got KDB's had a good season, Tillemans has a good season. People in the comments are saying Kante, and I understand why.
You say Fabinho?
Yeah, Fabinho's been very good as well. Fabinho's definitely been very good since he's been moved back into the DM spot. But for me, you know what, yeah? Because we're doing this whole second half of the season business, Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard. Nah, because apparently second half of the season, that's all that matters, isn't it? So Jesse Lingard, yeah, goes in there. The influence that he has over West Ham since he's been there, goals and assists drive them towards that 6th place finish. Bruv, he's got to be in there then, because second half of the season, he's been amazing. West Ham looked like they was getting relegated last year. No one wanted Moyes in. No one wanted Jesse Lingard in. They didn't want Jesse Lingard. Come in there, reshape the whole thing, gave them hope. He re-found himself, rediscovered himself at West Ham. So for the second half of the season, because apparently that's all that matters, Jesse
Lingard came into a good midfield already. In West Ham, West Ham have a good midfield. They didn't have much.
Declan Rice got injured in that time as well. Remember that?
Yeah, but he was still there for most of the time.
Hang on. So what you're saying is that Nat Phillips didn't come into the best team in the country?
No, of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. We had like half of that best team in the country left. The rest were in hospital.
But you're still better than West Ham's team.
No, not in the position that Lingard came in. Lingard came in a great midfielder, and I'm not going to say he didn't carry that midfield, but that's a good midfield. Phillips came in.
So you're telling me that when Nate Phillips was playing with Alisson behind him, with Robertson and Trent either side of him, with Thiago and Gini and Henderson and Fabinho in front of him, with Salah and Mane and Firmino and Jota up front, when he was surrounded by that, that's not as good as Lingard playing with Souček and Rice.
Right, and Mark Noble.
You're doing this thing on paper. Mane rubbish this season before the injuries. For Firmino's been rubbish for about 2 years now. Salah, good, I accept that. Midfield, we didn't really have a midfield at one point because half of them were playing centre-back. Right back, Trent, all you call him awful defensively. Left back, Robertson, and then the centre-back next to him, Reece Williams. None of you know who that is. He came from the second team in the league.
Bro. So forget what we've said or somebody else has said about Trent. You put Trent in as your left back of the year. So what are you going by? Are you admitting that your team isn't very good, or are you good? I don't know. I'm confused.
No, some of our team is good. Some of our team isn't good.
I can't believe you just said though that Lingard going into West Ham, he was playing in a better team than Liverpool's. It's crazy.
West Ham are a good team. No, I never said West Ham have a better team than Liverpool. I said West Ham have a very good midfield. Lingard plays in the midfield.
Okay. So we've had the 3 there from KJ.
By the way, but Lingard, I just want to for a disclaimer, Lingard is my stick to Sonny. He's actually not serious pick.
we get that, bro. We do get that there. Neeks, who would be your three midfielders, bro?
Yeah, Bruno, Gundogan, and for me, it's actually a tough one for that DM position. I do like Rice. I do like Rice. I actually think Fabinho deserves to be in the team of the year. The issue is he played half the season at centre back and half of it at DM, or maybe even less than half at DM. So it's like, where do you put him? I think he does deserve to be in it, because with all the underperforming players around him, all the injuries around him, he's been one of the few players who hasn't really dropped their levels all season. I'm gonna go Fabinho. He's probably not gonna get in the DM, but I'm gonna go with Fabinho in the DM position.
And what were the other two positions? Sorry,
Gundogan and Bruno.
Okay, so Fabinho's got one. Sonny, who would your three midfielders be, mate?
De Bruyne. I think he's been underrated for what people said so far. Just because he's not putting up all the stats, he's still probably City's best player this season. Bruno Fernandes, statistically amazing, probably one of the best players in the world this season, and Fabinho, because we've shown when he's came back in the midfield, we've won every single game, and even him at centre back done an amazing job. So has to be him and Bruno and De Bruyne.
And Cam, who would be in your midfield?
Chelsea fans rejoice. I'm putting the DM as Conte for me. I think he's the best DM in the world. And I think once Tuchel came in, we saw why Frank had to go, because he was grossly misplaying him, in my opinion. My front guys is going to be Tielemans and Bruno. And the reason I picked Tielemans over Gundogan is it's kind of it's that argument against it's the counterpoint of Pep, right? I think you're going to put a lot of play. Pep did that, in my opinion. Like, Gundogan's been there for a while, and just because KDB got hurt, he was like, I gotta get creative with this. I gotta figure out how to put Gundogan in a position to be the player he is, because we needed that. So it would be Tielemans, Bruno, and I know the Tielemans one's a bit contentious, because everybody would take Gundogan, but I think a lot of players, like KDB, if he was healthy all year, he's my pick. It's like an easy one. But he wasn't healthy all year. So I'm staying consistent. If I'm going to say I don't want to put a Nat Phillips somewhere because he's played 17 games, I think KDB in and out of the squad kind of loses it for him. And I do think that Gundogan, I think he's great, but I'm still putting Tielemans, Bruno, and Conte. That's my
Hasn't Conte only been good half a season, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
by your logic, that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, but for me, the reason I think Conte is only good half the season,
but by your logic, that's not fine.
It was
and I didn't put Conte in there.
I'm putting Conte in there, and I think even when he was played out of position, he's still the best. He was still the best CDM, in my opinion.
Can I just say on the Gundogan thing, just as a not even a counter, but just a point. You know what? Because I think City won the league for me over those 20 games from December through to about February, and he was the best player in the team, arguably in the league at that point. So it's like, even if before and after that, De Bruyne was better, Foden might have been better, etc. If we accept that those 20 games won them the league, then effectively he won them the league. Obviously, we know it's more than 20 games or whatever, but yeah, that's just the reason why I put
No, I hear it. I'm just being a bit contrarian.
Yeah, I do hear that. Lots of people having their suggestions in the comments. We have had some super chats as well. So Bruno's got 4 votes. So for me, that instantly means, when you look at this as a chart, I've got to find Bruno Fernandes in here. There he's a little Eddie. So Bruno Fernandes is in. Interestingly, Gundogan's got 2 votes. Fabinho's got 2 votes. Lingard 1. KDB 1. Kante 1. And Tielemans 1. I think what's interesting from my point of view is there are some shout-outs that need to be spoken about in relation to this. I think Souček has had an amazing season. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. He deserves a massive mention. Mason Mount, I think, has been excellent, and he's just got better and better and better as the season has gone on. Bruno, for me, gets one of my votes straight away, because he's absolutely sensational. He deserves to be there. And I think KDB's still been pretty good. I'm looking at all the names you guys have said. Kante, I've been impressed with.
Yeah. Kante also.
If Jack really stayed healthy, it would have been an easy one.
I would throw Mason Mount and Souček in there with Bruno Fernandes, and I'm not even worried about do I have to have a DM in there or not. I just think them two have had very, very good times as well. But in terms of where the votes are, Ilkay Gundogan has to go in because he's got 2 votes. I can't find him. There he
But
is.
who did you say you're putting in?
That's when he's got 2 votes. Is Slovenia, who goes in. Well, I can't find his Ed. Where's he at? Did I not?
Also, N'Golo Kante did play 30 games this year as well, as a whole season. So he wasn't like out for like a load of games either. Like he did play.
Yeah, so we're going to. So just so the viewers know, so Ilkay Gundogan is in there, Fabinho is in there, Bruno is in there. You can get there. Have been some super chats. So at the end of us ranking this, we'll be moving them around for you. We will get that done. We're going to move on and talk about strikers now. Strikers in this scenario. Do you know what I'll do actually? Because of anyone who misses out with more than 1 vote will go instantly onto the bench, but no one's missed out yet with more than 1 vote. It's been singular votes the whole time in relation to that. Strikers, though, attackers. I'm going to go to Sonny first. Who would your front 3 be?
Son, Kane, and Salah. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Salah won goal off the Golden Boot. Kane got the Golden Boot. Son, people say he has a bad couple of months, but still, how good he was when he was on fire, which was most of the season. That's it for me.
Oh, now you want to count a whole season? Oh, interesting.
I've been counting the whole season the whole time.
How about yourself, Cam? Who would you go with?
I'm gonna go with Kane, Salah, and Rashford on the left.
Okay. Okay. How about yourself, Neeks? Who are you going with?
Same as Sonny, Kane, Salah, and Son.
Okay, and KJ, who's your front 3?
Kane, Salah, both in there. This one's hard. This left spot has been, because loads of people have been saying Son, you could have Phil Foden. Rashford gets a shout. In the vibes team of the season, Mahrez actually took that spot, which was hilarious. I would love to give it to Grealish, but I can't. He was injured for most of it. You know what? Yeah, numbers speak for themselves, and it has to be Heung-min Son. Unfortunately, actually, not even unfortunately, he deserves it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it has to be Heung-min Son.
Yeah, do you know what is interesting? Like Rashford for me I think he's got an outside shout. Foden is a name that I think. In fact, I would put Foden in over Son. I think he's had an amazing year. He hasn't got as many goals or assists statistically, but the way he's grown and moved forward, I'd almost want to put him in just for that. Mason Mount's entered, by Sonny's logic, Mason Mount's end of the season puts him in with a shout because in the end of the season he was there.
That's not my logic.
Well, it is.
Not.
In games, it's simple as
the whole season. So
okay.
Yeah, but he missed his whole season, but 17 games is enough.
He didn't really. He missed a lot of the early part of the season due to that. I mean, Cavani, I think, had a very, very good year as an attacker, but I think Salah, Kane, and Son, in terms of your votes as a panel, is very, very fair in relation to that team. We've still got that space open. Nobody has super chatted in yet and spoke about who they want to go in as the centre back next to Kane, because we're split on that one as a panel. The front 3 are picked. In terms of the bench, so we're going to have up to 7 players on that bench. Who do we think should be filling it, gents? Who should be on that bench?
Mendy. Yeah, Mendy's the backup goalkeeper.
Mendy's the backup goalkeeper. That's fair.
On the bench, yeah.
De Bruyne, midfielder.
Yeah, KDB.
Okay, KDB midfield.
Mason Mount for sure. Mason Mount, I think, definitely has to be on the bench.
Mason Mount and put Rice on there.
Rice or Suchek?
I'll go with Rice on that. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
In terms, I want to throw a few names out there.
There's three spots on the bench now.
In terms of benches here, a lot of people mentioned Rashford and Phil Foden in terms of the attack. Do either one of them deserve a place on the bench?
Foden, yeah.
Foden, yeah.
Foden, definitely. Definitely put
Foden's on the bench. There's 2 more spaces left. Who stands out when you look at all those players' faces? I mean, what we haven't spoken about yet are any of the, what about someone like Rafinha, Bamford, Jesse Lingard? I mean, Jesse Lingard. What about Joe Willett?
Those are moments, though, right?
I'll put Cancelo on the bench.
Oh yeah, Cancelo didn't make it there.
Yeah,
all right, so one spot left.
You need a backup striker.
We need a striker, backup striker.
If you're going with striker, it's out of bounds.
It's got to be Rashford. It's got to be Rashford.
It does. When you look at everyone, I mean, I would.
It's not going to be Werner, is it?
Yeah, it has to be Rashford.
And also, I mean, there is a centre back spot open, and I don't know who's gonna vote for that. There is a super chat that's already come in, so I know who's going into that space now. Actually, so in terms of us here, just so we can get ours up on the screen before we start doing the super chats, we're gonna pick a centre back, right? And we've got Diaz is done. So let's redo the vote again, but you can't vote Diaz. Who would your pick two players outside of Diaz that you would go with, KJ?
Fofana or Maguire.
Okay, so they get a vote each. Sonny?
Fofana and Phillips.
Okay. Cam?
Stones and Maguire.
Stones. Maguire gets another one. Neeks? He's on mute. You're on mute, bro.
You know what? If I pick Maguire, he's going to get in. But I think it's so harsh. There's only two City players. I have to go Stones and I don't know. Erling Haaland.
It's democracy in relation to that. That's the thing. We've got a lot on the bench as well.
Wait. I just want to do a count. So we've got one Villa player in there. You got one West Ham. You've got 3 United.
I think Stones
2 Liverpool, 2 Spurs, and 2 Man City.
I think Stones the other Maguire has to be. I think that's not good. How can you Man United
Stones ain't even on the bench.
That's because I thought he was going to get into the 11. That's why I didn't mention it.
Yeah, listen, we'll let the viewers decide. So what I need to do straight away, that's ours. It's kind of stuck in motion here. So Grey Wolf Dinner's been a very, very, very busy boy, and he put £5 in. And he has put Rudiger, and Rudiger, I can't actually see. I think I've got to add Rudiger to this list. Rudiger's going to go into centre-back position, but he's put Mendy into the team. So to get Mendy out of the team, it's going to cost you £5. Mason Mount has been put into the midfield. I'm going to remove Ilkay Gundogan as the player to come out because of the vote level on this. He's also completely taken out Luke Shaw and put in Ben Chilwell into the team for £5 as well. The super chat started. You have 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 15 minutes to adjust and amend this team to get the players into it you want. But Chilwell, Rudiger and Mendy will cost you £5 each to remove. Chelsea fans always come up trumps when it comes to the.
You know what's we laugh about that, yeah? Chelsea
start getting that done now in relation to that. Jens, I want to ask a question about team of the year. Who have been some of the standout sort of players to really improve this year that you think are unlucky not to be in our team?
Jesse Lingard is in there, definitely. Who's missed out. I also think that Jack Grealish, if he had stayed fit, he definitely would have been there hands down. Because even in the game against, even with the game against Chelsea, where that's his second game back, you just saw the levels of everything that he was doing for that club. So Jack Grealish is Jack Grealish, bro.
So not Phillips as well, then, yeah.
What for missing? No. For missing out? No.
How long has Grealish missed? About half a season.
But this is all the players who missed out on it. Like,
but you're saying he's unlucky to miss out on it. You're not saying Phillips is unlucky to miss out on it.
Because he hasn't been injured. He's been available and he never got picked.
But why didn't he get picked?
Because Klopp didn't think he was good enough.
Is that his fault? Is that his fault?
Yes.
No, it's not. Oh my life.
Yes.
Okay.
And on top of that, Sonny, Grealish has played like 10 more games than him. So that's nearly.
I doubt that.
No, he has about 20.
I doubt 10 more.
Let me get. You check.
I think Cavani if
about 25% of the season.
Phillips has only missed about 40% of the season.
Jesus.
Well, how much you got, KJ?
Jack Grealish, I'm going on to him now. He has played in the Premier League. He's played 26 games, so that's 9 more games.
That's actually 25%.
That's over 50% of the games. That's over 50% of the games.
It's crazy when you put it like that. We have some super chats come in here, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to go to. Varane here said remove Fabinho and put Kante in. So Fabinho is out. Kante then moves in. That's going to cost £5. That's going to cost £5 of your good earned cash to remove Kante out of this team. We have another super chat. I think this is from Original Base Annie, I believe. Yes, it is. It says put in Rodri. He's been underrated and under the radar. Do I have Rodri as an option here? No, I don't. So I'm going to add him in a few moments.
That's a decent show.
I think he has been
Sorry, but that means Kante now gets moved out and Rodri is going to go in.
No, you would move up the DM for the DM, right?
DM for the position for
I think Rodri has been under the radar, but because I don't think he's great. He's good. Right. He's good. And that's it. And I think in the Pep system, he's no Busquets. And I don't even really like Busquets, but you have to respect the levels of Busquets. Rodri's slightly better than he was last year, but yeah,
he's no. The thing is, he's not even as good as Fernandinho, like in his prime, right? You think about when Fernandinho's in that position.
No, but as good as Fernandinho now.
Exactly, thing, right? So it's I don't think he should be in there.
Just very quickly on admin. If you put in a super chat to put someone in, tell us who you want to be removed. It just makes it a little bit easier so everyone feels like they're getting represented properly. So let us know. And if they're not on the list anymore, I keep moving people back in, but then I have to redo my bench. It's such a nightmare. But go on, sorry, Karen. Ram's joined us now as well. How you doing, Ram?
Not bad. You guys good?
Ram, please chat to your boy. Chat to your boy, please.
What did he talk about, Nat Phillips?
Yes.
Sonny, man, what are you doing this to yourself, bro? What are you doing this to yourself?
I'm still yet to get a valid reason why it's a disgrace to say Nat Phillips. But
look, he's done very well. He's done. Look, we all can agree he's done very well at Liverpool. Yeah, what he's done this season has been very good. But ideally, I don't want him to be part of our first team. You know what I mean? I'd rather get in someone else, like a Botman, come in and slot in. I'd love him to be part of the squad, like back up, like fifth choice centre back, but not first choice.
No, but that's not the point. I was saying team of the year shouts because the fact he's came in and had Kabak from a Schalke team that's right bottom, like picking up almost no points, and then Reece Williams from the second tier of non-league alongside.
Did he not play with Fabinho at some point as well?
He did.
Yeah, very, very shortly. Yeah.
I'm sure he got exposed against when was it Leipzig he played? Was it Leipzig?
No, he didn't play against
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid one ball over the top, yeah.
One ball over the top. Only one ball they scored from, one ball over the top all game, just one ball over the top.
Tony Kroos put a ball over the top.
If you look at Man, okay, the reason why he can't get in, and it's not a knock at Phillips. Forget him for a second. Or don't, but forget him for a second. There's two centre-backs at City that have been better than him this season. So that all alone, unless you're doing the back three, knocks him out. Maguire has been better than this season. I know you don't agree. Cool. Johnny Evans has been better than this season. Rudiger has been better than this season. They played probably similar amount of games, if not Rudiger's played more. Thiago Silva's been better than him this season. I understand.
I don't agree.
I wouldn't say Rudiger because I don't rate Rudiger. I don't rate Rudiger.
Come back. Since Tisho's come in, you don't think he's been better than Nat Phillips?
He's been better than what he was, but again, three of the back tacks. You know what I mean?
I hear it. I hear you on that. But I think that I've got five. That's five already.
No, but you lot don't understand the game.
Fabinho's been better at centre back than Nat Phillips.
What?
If you're gonna put Nat Phillips,
Sonny, look at okay. Let's please. Let's look at this run that Nat Phillips went on because
I actually
played enough games.
It's actually a boring debate now, if I'm being honest.
Even Ram says thank you. So Sonny, can you let it go, bro?
He hasn't played enough games.
I'm not going to pretend I believe something.
No, but he doesn't have to let it go. Yeah. It just is what it is. There's a comment from Blue Maniac who says this channel has no credibility. No, what this channel is fans giving their opinion. What would be zero credibility is not allowing fans who have a difference of opinion that triggers people to not speak and making sure that we only say what the consensus is. That would be zero credibility from a fan channel. That's not what we are, Blue, my friend.
Gotta love the couple of
irony in it all is that like I don't agree with what Sonny's saying, but I believe he should be given a platform to be able to speak it from. And same as you will get the chance to comment. Imagine if all of you, if you put a comment in that I disagree with, you all got blocked. Imagine if you got blocked from every YouTube channel where the host didn't agree with your comments. The world would be very boring, wouldn't it? So it's not about credibility. We're not here all claiming to be experts on football. Sonny definitely isn't an expert on football, but do you know what I mean? This isn't opinions. This is deluded bias. On what though? It's Chelsea fans who are spending their super chats to move people in and out. I can't help that. That's the name of the game. You know, it is what it is.
I'm sure
phone up and have your say. Phone in. Speak your mind. Tell us what you think.
I'm sure he put in a comment earlier that goes Premier League 11, and he just had the whole Man City team. That's delusion. That's delusion.
You know what? Like we were talking about people who kind of it's a shame they missed out. If Cavani was healthy all season, which I know at this age he probably wouldn't be, but he would have been on the bench, I think, as a backup striker.
Is he not on the bench?
No, it's Rashford. And which rightfully, if you base it on our seasons, like to be completely fair, it should be Rashford. But Cavani, if he played in more games, easily it would have been.
I would have put Cavani on the bench.
So easy.
I think
Cavani would have been a bench player for me. I agree. I think he had such a him and Gareth Bale actually. So many of us up this season where once they didn't play a lot of football last year. They didn't have a preseason and they're a bit older, and it took them 4 or 5 months to get what you know match fitness. As soon as they got it, you started seeing like quality come through them again, and they both stay in the Premier League next year. They get a good rest this summer. I don't think Wales are at the Euros, are they? Or are they at the Euros?
Yeah, I think they are. Gareth Bale said he's focused on Wales, so they are.
Okay, so they're at the Euros. Cavani, you know, have a bit of a rest. It's going to be an interesting season for them too. But we've had a big super chat in here from Winter Surfer. We said 15 to keep Mendy in. So that now means that it's going to cost £20 to get Mendy out of this team. Also, £5 to keep Nate Phillips out and to collect the balls in training. Shake your head. This Nate Phillips prop is a joke. If anyone wants Nate Phillips in the team, it costs you £5 just to get him back in the game. So it's going to be £6 minimum to get him into this team right now, and at least £10 to get him past Rudiger. Ahmed, thank you for signing up and becoming an official member of the first team member of the Football Terrace. A massive thank you to you. There's 5 minutes of the show left remaining, people. 5 minutes to get your votes in, to get your super chats in, and to have your say. Aaron here, one of our members, says if you're going to pull in Nate Phillips, you should put in Reece Williams too. What's the difference? Both not good enough to win us a Premier League title.
Oh, guys, Cavani's not getting a rest. Cavani's not getting a rest. He's going to be a Copa America.
Copa America this year.
Yeah.
Maybe a rest isn't what he needs. Maybe he actually just needs
some reps.
Like he looks.
To be fair, he did miss out. What? How nine was it? Nine months of football.
About that. Before he came,
he needs games. He just needs to be playing football.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about Konaté being agreed. There was a tweet. There was a guy. It wasn't actually Fabrizio that broke this, although people were talking about it. It was a different journalist, but he's pretty much on his way to flying over to England. Konaté is going to be a Liverpool player. We know this. I find it such an interesting transfer because he has got legitimate injury, like there's legitimate concerns over his fitness. There is, and I know a lot of people try and I know this. He's over it now. He's had transplants and all this sort of. I don't know what they've said. They said some weird stuff about he won't have a problem here. Are you Liverpool boys worried about the signing?
No, I'm happy about it.
No, unless we get another centre back. I want another one. I want Botman. I want Botman at Liverpool. I think he's absolutely amazing. Honestly. I've seen him play for Lille quite a lot at the end of near the end of the season, and he shows qualities that not a lot of young centre backs have.
Ram. Everybody eats tax. Don't worry about that in the season.
Not with Lille. This is Lille, not PSG.
But Ram, if Konaté stays, him and Van Dijk could be by far the best centre back partnership in the world.
Who?
Okay,
Van Dijk and Konaté.
Yeah. Okay. So that's fine, but. You're not concerned about this mammoth injury record he's got.
I am.
Yeah, but it's just you can't call it, can you? Like he might get injured, he might not. Like what's?
Yeah, but the thing is with somebody who has an injury history, the percentage is more likely to get injured, right? Like so that's realistically, his injury record is wild. So I'd say you should be a little bit worried. But if again, and this is the thing, you keep talking about like Virgil van Dijk, like he didn't just have an injury that most players will come back 100% from, right? We have to really wait and see with those two players. I think I'm not saying they won't be. They could be on paper, like they could easily be the best center back pairing. But right now, like the injury concerns they're pretty serious.
That's why I don't want to get rid of Nat Phillips in case Virgil is not at that level and Joe Gomez still not back from his injury. That's why I want another centre back as well. Because
you definitely need two centre backs because you needed at least one when Lovren went. I think you needed two when Lovren went anyway. Because Matip is a walk-in injury. Like you went into the season with Van Dijk as the only senior centre back who could guarantee fitness. Gomez has had his injury issues. Matip is a walking injury, and then Lovren left. When Van Dijk gets injured, then you're setting yourself up for failure. So I think you need two centre backs minimum anyway.
It'd probably be Kabak if we get another one, but apparently
Kabak's looking like he's going to Leipzig. I think there's a little bit of a deal between Liverpool and Leipzig. We get Konaté and they get.
How is my? Oh, nah, he's a money laundering scheme, bro. How is my man going from relegated Schalke to Liverpool and being terrible, and then going to freaking Leipzig, bro? Nah.
I would say he's been terrible.
It's like Choupo-Moting. It's like some players just somehow they just fail upwards.
No, apart from Kabak's 20 years of age.
And
what do you mean? And
I don't rate him.
He's
20 years old, and what I've seen
he fits the profile of RB Leipzig.
If just being young is a profile, my cousin can get signed by RB Leipzig. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not that good. I don't think there's any.
Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, you've got 1 minute remaining if you want to get any changes made to the to the tiering system. If you want to get that done, 1 minute to get those super chats in, people. Get that done right about now, please. If you want to get that done, if you want to get that over the line.
You know what's funny, Terry? I was looking at some of the Man City fans in the chat, their comments, and they actually sound like us when we used to win the league. And it's like, you see the team of the year, and it's like, well, where is Scholes? Where is Giggs, Beckham? Because
yeah.
And they're like, because it's like, listen, Man City have the best team, the best squad, 100%. But it doesn't mean that you have the best player in every position. We know there's a thing called Pep Roulette. The man makes so many changes anyway that you can't even say, oh, this guy was good for the whole season because he only played 25 games. Like it's just what Pep does, and it means that Man City are the best. So I can happily accept that Pep's the best manager in the league, in the world. And he's got your team, which is a very, very good squad, to win the league and balance the all the competitions, the fixture list, etc., etc. It just is what it is. I hear you. Stones should have been in, maybe, but it is what it is. Get over it.
How many players? It's about 2 players from Man City that are in the team.
Just too many. Too many.
I mean. A bit harsh, not gonna lie, but
you know what it is. Spurs got 2.
Yeah. You Ram talking about
2, but the other 9 are trash, and that's why they're 7.
But I say you have equal amount of players in there.
Who's in there?
And you had a worse season in the Man City.
No, but that's not how it works, KJ.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying.
Is Fabinho in there?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
CDM?
Yeah, CDM, yeah. And you've got Salah as well. I'm not arguing this. I'm not saying it shouldn't be there. I'm just saying. That's what happens in team.
I wouldn't put Fabinho because he didn't play CDM for the majority of the season. He played as
It's funny when you have one guy with sense and one with it's really interesting to see the contrast in the
Wait. I'm gonna back. Sonny knows football, but
I'm not saying he doesn't.
His thing with Phillips is a bit wild.
I do know football.
But your love for Phillips is what takes you over the edge. It's just like,
look at that. We had one come in right at the last minute there. Bruno out. Lingard in. So
that's fine because he said Man United heritage and that. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
There we go. He's in there. That's been moved. That's been done. in relation to that. So thank you all for your super chats on there. The Konaté deal looks like it's done. Looks like it's going to be over the line, and everything else along those lines. It's going to be an interesting summer. These deals are going to come. They're going to come thick and fast. They're going to keep motoring forward. So yeah, let's see what happens. Everyone that's tuned in for the last hour and a half or so, thank you very, very much indeed. We're back tomorrow with more content for you. Until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very